Welcome to the Simply Incredible podcast starring the D. That is me, Daryl, a.k.a. the D. And tonight I'm here with Troy Champney.
I'm back.
And Josh Presnell, a.k.a. Peezy Inc.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. I don't even know what that meant. It sounded German or something. I don't know.
Is the Deutsch.
Spoken's
The
a
Deutsch.
douche. And tonight we're going on part 2 of the Batman series of movies, starting with our Christopher Nolan segments.
A.K.a. the watchable movies.
Well, that was so not true, but okay.
Well, they, in my opinion, were definitely better
As a group.
as a group.
Yes.
With that one notable exception at the end.
I don't think that's going out on a ledge too much
Yeah.
to say that either.
Yes, that's really not. Not if you listen to the first podcast.
All right, well, here, to get started, what did you think?
Starting off with Batman Begins.
All right, what did you think when you found out that they were going to do another Batman series based on, Batman Year One, the graphic novel? Did you know Christopher Nolan worked beforehand? Did you know anything he had done before?
I did not. Did you?
I didn't know.
I didn't either.
Was Inception before Batman Begins?
No, I think that was
I
afterwards.
think that was after.
Yeah, that's all I knew.
Yeah, I remember that. Which was a great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
I did not know that it was going to be what it was going to be based off of until actually I'd seen the movie.
Oh, now you see, that's when I heard that they were doing one, and they, because they had been talking about a Batman Year One take for a long, long time, and I remember reading that for the first time, and I loved it. I mean, hands down, it was one of those things that when I got it because I got it as a collected, graphic novel, and not the individuals, and I couldn't put it down. I did that, in one sitting, and just was sad when it was over. I was like, that was awesome.
Yep.
Because I always wondered what happened during that space. It's like everybody knows the basic story, all right? He witnessed his family's murder, and throughout his teenage years or his, his youth.
Hold on. Bruce Wayne witnessed his family getting murdered.
Spoiler alert.
Is that a spoiler?
It's not like they didn't put that in every single movie ever.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing. We knew that, and we knew that he trained himself to be Batman.
Yes.
But that's a lot of, ground to cover and just jump to the part where he is the man.
Yep.
Because what's your favorite part of the Rocky movies?
It's got to be the fights. It's always
The
the
fights are great. What's the most, incredible thing, that they have that makes you just so on his side is to watch his training montage.
Yeah, there's montage
Yep.
videos.
When you watch him train, you just, man, you're with him. You get, I challenge anybody to get those things played in front of them and not be motivated.
Yeah.
It's like, good luck.
Jumping way ahead, but that's why I'm really intrigued by the idea of Gotham, because we get to see those teenage years. When does he learn magic? When does he learn, just sleight of hand, all these little things that they just kind of skip and jump right into the Batman mode.
Dude,
Yeah.
I couldn't agree. And
Yeah.
did you see the episode already? Have they already done season 2, episode 1?
That was last night.
That
and
was, Monday.
I'm like about midway through last season.
Okay.
I'm catching up on it now.
Okay. I actually didn't like the last season. I was like not happy with it, but seeing what they were doing, with the previews on, talking about all the villains coming out like that,
Yep.
and that guy doing the Joker, man, unbelievable.
Did you watch Mondays?
Well, I saw he was in last season's,
Yeah.
I didn't.
I kind of have a worry that it's going to be a little too much of that overacting, though.
Oh, it could be because I haven't seen this one, But I agree with you. This right here, the whole idea of Batman Begins, they were off to a great start just by having the idea. Let's take a step back. Let's watch him develop.
Yeah.
And the story I fell in love with because it could have. I mean, they could have done it good. They could have done it bad, and I thought that was a home run. Yeah. What were some of your high points in there of Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins?
Because I thought you were still going Gotham on me. Nolan's Batman. Well, first off, the whole Scarecrow scene when he poisoned Batman.
Yeah.
The toxin.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
I love that they even brought the Scarecrow in.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a great character in the
you
books.
just always assume they're going to put Joker in first thing. They always do.
Yeah.
But, that twist there I thought was great.
Oh, I did
mean,
too.
technically not a twist, but yeah.
But that was good.
Yeah, I love that. That character was great, too.
I thought he was so good. And
Cillian
I loved.
Murphy did a good job.
He
Of
did
that.
Yeah,
good, right?
yeah, it was good.
I loved how they actually showed what the people were seeing, too.
Yeah.
Like when they showed
Yeah.
Batman, as like an actual bat mutant.
Yeah.
With a black liquid coming out of his mouth. That was like, dude, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And the horse at the end, you know, when he's on the steed.
Like the fire coming out of his nose.
Yeah,
and
dude,
stuff.
that was
Mhm.
great.
That was great.
Little nod to some of the, you know, Elseworld type thing that they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
But I tell you kind of what I liked. When they were starting to get into the real mix of putting together his arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
I loved, like, you know, where they're getting the cowl and the ears. And he goes, well, to, you know, make sure that we don't arouse suspicion, we're going to have to order these in bulk. Well, how
Yeah.
many? 10,000.
That was such a
They
great
still have
line.
That's a
extras.
great line.
Such a great line in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nolan
Michael
did-
Caine's Alfred, I thought he was
Yes.
awesome.
I thought
Phenomenal.
probably the best Alfred I've ever,
Yeah.
you know, had in a, you know, TV or movies. That was the best.
yeah.
Because you believe that's somebody that I believe could have mentored him.
Yeah, just really cared about Bruce.
Yeah. Oh, well, even in that line where he said, "Still haven't given up on me."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Never.
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 Oh, he's just what? That's like acting royalty.
Yeah.
You know. What do you think of Christopher? Totally, Christian Bale. God, totally brain locked there.
Yeah.
What do you think about his performance as Bruce Wayne?
Bruce Wayne, great.
Yeah.
I mean, I believed him as being the millionaire playboy.
Yeah, me too.
He's still not the Bruce Wayne in my head. I don't know. I have.
Do you have a certain person?
I really like
actor?
Scott
Ben Affleck.
Atkins. No, my God. Podcast over. Done. I don't know. I like, you know the guy that played the Phantom back in the 90s? He was the bad guy in
Yeah.
Titanic. I always thought he looked
Yeah.
like
I
Bruce.
can't think of his name.
Billy Zane.
Yeah.
Billy Zane.
Yes.
thought
How
Billy
can I
Zane
remember
looked like
Billy
Bruce.
Zane's name but not Christian Bale?
Exactly.
I thought someone like him, and I think Scott Atkins would be a really good Batman because he's
I
got the
remember you
martial
telling
arts
me that a while
background.
back, Yeah.
Yeah, I think he would do an excellent job.
Who's Scott Atkins?
He's
Created the Atkins diet.
yes, no.
No, I just made that up.
I was like, he did.
He does some B movies. He does some stunt work. He was
Like martial art movies. I think I know.
he
you're
was
talking
the stunt double for Ryan Reynolds when he played Deadpool in
Oh,
X-Men
wow.
Origins.
Okay.
Wow.
Right.
That I did not know.
Now, when I asked you what you thought of Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne, you almost clarified it like, oh, as Bruce Wayne, good. As if there was another part to that statement.
There is another part of that statement as Batman.
And what did
I
you
loved
think?
him as Batman. Despised the voice.
Oh, yeah,
That
dude.
voice was just horrible.
I don't think it was as bad in Begins though, was it?
No, in
Yeah,
fact,
yeah,
I think
you're
throughout
right.
the
You're
series
right.
it
Yeah.
got worse.
Yeah.
To where at the last movie, it sounded like he had a mouthful of gravel.
It was
Yeah.
just gargling
And it was on
gravels.
fire.
Yeah. And that voice was like, oh my goodness.
It was almost like a whisper in Begins.
Yeah.
It was
That's
just
right,
really
yeah.
low.
Dude, and I swear it was like he was trying to gargle while he gave
Yeah.
dialogue. I was like,
Oh, in the second movie, I will tell you about a skit that always cracks me up. The interrogation scene, the skit with the Joker.
oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a YouTube hit. I love watching that thing.
I've seen it, yeah.
And you know,
Did you have
people
throat cancer. Are you speaking bat?
They've actually got a lot of, like, you know, YouTube channel stuff on that, you know, dynamic of his voice just being horrid.
Yeah.
Just like really good stuff. Look it up on YouTube.
people have been talking about that, especially after the second movie. You know, he caught wind of that at some point. It's like,
Yeah.
why did he continue to do it in the third movie?
Exactly.
He must have been like, man, all in, bro. I can't back out now.
Exactly.
Remember when I did that thing with the Joker? We're not doing that anymore. You know, that's not going to go over real well.
But I'm Batman.
But I am Batman. He's like, and that's trademarked. You pay me royalties if you say it like that.
What do you think about the Tumblr?
All right. When I first saw it, without seeing the movie, I just saw pictures. I was beyond pissed off. I was like,
Really?
oh, I was like, because I'm still, and I know this is terrible.
1966.
1966 car is my favorite. Now, yes, I understand. I'm willing to concede that that's not really a practical Batmobile.
Yeah.
But this thing was a cross between a Lamborghini and a tank.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know? And I was like, dude, that thing doesn't even look cool. It looks like a military vehicle that they painted black. And then I saw the movie, and I said, that's like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I love
Does it come in black?
Dude, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we got to go with Lucius on this as well.
Oh, you don't. We'll
Wait,
be interested in that.
JP,
Uh-huh.
did you enjoy the Tumblr?
Yes, I did. It was
Okay.
excellent. Yes.
Well, think about it, right? What can this thing do? In the other movies, you made mention of this in part 1 about like the grappling hook.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Shot out, and it's given this thing a unique characteristic. It's not just a fast black bulletproof car or something. It's not Knight Rider, you know, with a couple of things. This thing, I mean, think about it. It was made to launch over distances, you know, for bridge building.
Yep. The bridge. Yep.
Which I love when he's on top of the roof, and you're like, dude, you're stuck. And he's like, this is the Batmobile, dude. I am not stuck. And to see it smash through there, because the other ones, you could have been afraid that it would have, you know, oh, man, you got to ding up the Batmobile a little bit.
Exactly.
This thing, you're like, man, rock and roll. Go,
Yeah,
go.
we just added some character to it.
Oh, dude, it was cool. Riding on the rooftops, you know, and you could see the roof kind of going and then smashing through the median.
Yeah.
But that brings me to the thing, the Batcave.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, you know, is wondering how come they never can find the Batcave. You know, it's like, dude, if I'm on that back road and wandering around, all of a sudden, you know, you wander into this thing that's got a bush over it, I might go in there and peek and say, dude, that's Batman's Batcave, right? To have that thing, and I give credit to Christopher Nolan on this, of course, you know, and who's the writer? David Goyer, right? I mean,
That sounds right to me.
but them
His
coming
brother
up-
took some part in it.
yeah, his brother
Yeah.
had, what was it? Writing credit, if not the whole thing.
Something.
Yeah. But the thing about it, I looked at it and I was like, what a great idea. If somebody were to venture onto this private estate, they would still have to take and find the cave and then get to this waterfall, which would be masking. They'd be like, well, that's it, because there's a huge canyon, and I mean, I'm not going to come in here with a truck, you know?
Yeah.
It's not my property. So even if you got there, it's still hidden.
Uh-huh.
But then, even if you drove there, if you don't have the Batmobile, you ain't getting in. Dude, that was brilliant.
That was great.
That was brilliant. I was like, yeah. What about the part where he takes and goes in like torpedo style?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I was like, oh, that's cool.
He's like, then he has his uniform, well, the bat suits.
Right.
It's down, pushes a button, and they come up.
That's cool,
I was like,
right?
that is awesome.
That is cool. Commissioner Gordon gets to drive it.
Yeah.
Can you drive stick? You know, I was like,
Great.
oh, go for it. Because how many of us wouldn't want to be that guy where he says, hey, man, look, I need you to do me something. And say, get in. Yes, sir.
No doubt.
I'm in.
That was
So,
that was
yeah.
great scenes.
What did you think about the entire story of, you know, introducing him with Ra's al Ghul as the first character instead of the Joker?
Yeah,
What'd you think about that?
I love that.
Fantastic.
Because to me, it really showed him going from being almost a depressed kid
Yeah.
to finding his way.
Yeah.
I still don't know exactly how did he get in touch with Alfred to pick him up.
You know what? I remember you telling me about that before, and like that it was kind of sticking in your craw a little bit. I was like, no. That's like instead of walking into the sunset, he walks out of the sunset, and all the pieces just fall together.
Yeah.
But I thought that Liam is a perfect Ra's al Ghul too.
Mhm.
So, but that brings us to the next part, right? Batman Begins was great. Everybody loved it. Part 2.
Part 2, The Dark Knight. Man, that movie still makes me happy every time I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
First, thumbs up, thumb down. No, I tell you what, don't do the thumbs up, thumb down. Let's do the grades.
Mm-hmm.
What grade do you give Batman Begins before we go to part 2?
I give it about a B to B plus.
Oh, wow.
Dark Knight's probably my top 3 movies.
What about, no, I'm talking about the first one, Batman,
Batman
Begins.
Begins.
Batman Begins. That was the weakest of the 3 for me. I'd give it a B plus.
B plus?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'd probably give that an A.
Hey.
I'd give that an A. To me, that was a clean retelling of something we were all familiar with, but in a fresh way that made us excited. What else you got?
See, one thing I did not like in it was Katie Holmes.
Did not like her at all.
I've heard that from everybody. I have
was
no
not
problem with
huge
her.
on that.
Why?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you not like her like as an
I think
actress?
I think she's a fine actress, but for some reason, I just didn't.
You
get
don't
her
like
in
that
it.
she was with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That has tainted your opinion on this actress.
I don't know. For some reason, I don't know.
I don't buy her as that level of that Vicky Vale, that opposite of Bruce Wayne. Yeah. I don't think she's strong enough for that.
Well, you know what she kind of came across to me? Almost like somebody that was your moral compass.
Yeah.
She,
Yep.
you know, she was the person who was, you know what? Everyone else is impressed by you, and I'm going to hold you to the task. Are you being who you were supposed to, be in this life, or, are you blowing it? Are you blowing the greatest opportunity with all of your resources? And I mean, people who have that moral compass, the number one thing that they take and work with is guilt. And I thought she did that, which was the script she was given, flawless. Because I felt guilty for the guy. I didn't even do anything. I'm watching this thing with popcorn. And I'm like, oh, man, yeah. He's looking at her like, no, I am more. It's like, I don't believe you, dude. I'm out. Yeah. So, no. I'd give it an A. I dug that. Part 2, without a doubt, is probably one of one of my top 3 too.
Yeah, top 3 definitely.
I'd have to put that as. I don't even think we have to wait. That's an A.
No, that's an A plus.
Yeah, A plus. I'd even say.
Like I said with Batman with Keaton and Nicholson, I gave that an A plus, and we'll throw some more pluses on it because that's how I felt. That's how I felt about this movie.
5 batterings out of 5.
Yeah.
Dude, everything about this thing, because they took the next step. They didn't regurgitate part 1, because that's a flaw that a lot of people try to do, and they can't capture the magic. Look at something that's really strong, and they had this, sophomore slump. Look at something like Ghostbusters. First Ghostbusters, incredible. Second one, you want to pretend it didn't happen.
Exactly.
This thing, they actually bumped it up a notch.
They blew it out of the water.
It's like, man, that's not easy to do.
Yeah. It's rare for that to happen with a sequel.
Dude.
It's very rare.
And that, to me, that goes to, casting, but the story, of course. That's the biggest thing, the story.
Yeah, it had an excellent
The
plot.
story was fantastic.
I mean, that movie had me from the opening scene.
Oh, without a doubt.
Joker going into the bank.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I mean, Heath Ledger blew everything away with that.
Did you expect that?
I did not
From
expect
Heath.
that. I mean, I said this before. I saw him in A Knight's Tale. Great movie.
Yeah, I love it. That's a good.
And
movie.
I thought he's a great actor. I was like, he's not the Joker.
Dude, me too.
I didn't buy the hype because Nolan said, as soon as he came in and auditioned, he's like, he was the one. There was no other choice. And I was like, I don't buy it, dude. I don't buy it at all. Because they had already released what he was going to look like in the movie, full makeup and everything. And I was like,
you'd already seen it?
Yeah. Well,
like when you heard the news?
they had released pictures of him and
Oh, okay.
everything.
I
I was
didn't
like,
see any of
I was
them
like,
going into it.
I was like, he looks just like a homeless, deranged guy. That's like, how is he a supervillain? How is he Batman's match? But as soon as he walked in and did the pencil trick with the mob bosses, I ate my words. I was like, he's the Joker, dude.
I'll tell you, the moment that I had faith in Heath Ledger was not, when I saw it. I typically do this. If I haven't seen an actor's work in a role that I'm already kind of, wanting to see really done well, like a superhero film. I hadn't seen any of Andrew Garfield's stuff. I loved him in the Spider-Man. I don't think the stories were that good, but I thought he did a really good job.
I did too. I thought he was excellent, Peter Parker.
I did too. I thought he was a great Peter Parker, and I think he got a shaft, kind of way that they treated him. Man,
Yeah.
it was not cool. But so what I do is I say, let me take a look at some of these other things that they've done, and I remember hearing about the Lords of Dogtown. And on the cover,
That was a good movie.
dude, that's a great
That's a
movie.
really good movie.
If you have not seen that, you need to go see that. That is a really fun movie.
I
But
believe that is on Netflix too.
oh yeah, you got to. That's one that I'll watch every now and then just because I love that era too. But on the cover, I still remember it thinking Lords of Dogtown, and I could picture the cover of the poster or whatever, and it had this guy Emil Hirsch, down in a low thing, skateboarding. But for some reason,
Emil Hirsch, The Girl Next Door.
Dude,
Great
fantastic.
Movie. But anyway,
Speed Racer, not great movie. All right, but which he did a fantastic job in this too. That movie he did so good in. Emil did so good in The Lords of the Dogtown. But I had thought when I saw that poster, oh, that's Heath. California pretty boy. That's why they got him in Lords of Dogtown. Blah blah blah. And I'm watching the movie and I'm getting I'm so confused. Where the heck is he at? I'm halfway through the movie. I haven't seen Heath Ledger the first time. Maybe they've got 2 movies. A B version, another studio put out at the same time to compete with it. And then I saw that it was Skip. In the movie, the guy who kind of played the mentor to all these kids. And I said, I've watched this guy for a full hour, and I didn't even know it was him. That's acting.
yeah.
You know, because it's not like I didn't know him. I've seen The Knight's Tale too. You know, a bunch of his other work.
Same thing kind of happens here with the Joker too. I mean, you forget that's Heath Ledger sometimes.
You forget it.
I mean, there's only 1 or 2 scenes where you go, okay, I see it.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, it's like I don't even recognize him.
Oh no, because
Voice, everything.
his
Yeah.
facial
Yeah.
ticks,
I mean, he had like a little bit of
mannerisms, yeah.
had a little bit of a slump going to him, man.
Yeah.
And
almost like a
Yeah.
hobble.
Yeah.
You know, dude, magic.
favorite scene in this movie.
Oh, dude, that's tough.
That is
man.
tough to pick. There's so many good, just
I mean,
little,
right off
little
the bat,
one-liner movie.
The first one that
Oh man,
I mean,
that's-
this is way almost toward the end of the movie, was when he burns the money.
that was great.
He's on the top and he slides down and he burns all that money.
Oh, that was good.
And I was like, wow, deranged. And it's like Michael Caine said, and he's like, some people, they just want to see the world burn.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And I was just like, oh, that's just chills going down.
That
my
was-
spine
that
when I
was
saw him
great.
do that.
Yeah.
Man,
Immediately right after that too, when he told the guys, you know, tell your men they work for me now, and he's
Yeah.
like, they won't work for you, and he's like, how did he phrase it? Something like,
Wow.
tempt a hungry dog and you'll see where the
Oh,
loyalty
that's
lies,
right,
or
right,
something
right,
like
yeah.
that.
you keep, you know, the food from him for a while. And
Yeah.
he's gonna take and make a decision. I'll tell you what, finding a top spot on that.
That's a tough choice.
Yeah, that is. I'll tell you one thing that I really liked, and this is not my favorite spot by far, but it's like one of my favorite subplots that they threw in there. You remember the guy that was going to blackmail Bruce Wayne because
Yeah.
he figured it out?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Lucius going up to him. Okay, so let me get this straight. You're accusing one of the most powerful men, richest men in the entire world, of dressing up as a bat and being a vigilante at night who beats thugs in alleyways within an inch of their life, and your plan is to blackmail him?
Good luck.
Good luck. Dude,
That was awesome.
that
was
realization in that poor guy's face, I was like, dumb.
He's like, I'm not even gonna take this. You just keep it.
Dude, and I love the whole thing where he, you know, Bruce Wayne actually saved him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He's like,
I was trying to make the light.
He's like, if we're going to take something that's kind of inconspicuous, I'll take the Lamborghini. Because, yeah, they won't notice that.
Dude, that was so good. Without a doubt, if I had to pick one, I'll tell you, because seeing Heath Ledger do his thing,
Mm-hmm.
I actually got to a point that when he was going to show up on screen, I got, like, you know, nervous. Like, like this guy is spooking me out a little bit, man. He's crazy. He's a terrorist, and he's a psychopath, and he's not just going to hurt you. He's going to dismember you.
Yeah.
You know, when he walked into the party like that.
Yeah.
All of these nice people are there for this fundraiser for Harvey Dent, and the psycho walks in and he's like, I don't care if it's your grandma or your grandpa and they're good people. I'm going to make them look like me with this razor I got. Dude.
I mean, there was two lines in that part that I absolutely loved. When Bruce Wayne is going to the secret room, like panic room, and he just shuts the door behind him.
And they go, are you kidding me?
I thought that was phenomenal. And then
That was great, dude.
Joker's holding what's her name?
Rachel?
Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, holding her. He's like, let her go. He's like, not the best choice of words.
Uh-huh.
And so he does.
Dude, what a moment. That was good.
Now, I will say that the whole fall from ever how many stories, and then it landed on the car, and,
Uh-huh.
and she's fine.
That's a really good cape.
No doubt.
I mean, that's to me one of the very small little details. I'm like,
Dude, I have
but
to
other than
admit
that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I keep trying. Whenever I like a movie like that, I'm going to try to say, okay, look, I got to be able to explain this because I don't want this to be a fault. All right. If you notice, he almost like cigarette rolled this parachute technique when the parachute wraps up. He's going down with technique. Dude, no. He fell off a skyscraper, hit a car. He goes, let's not do that again. Yeah, dude. I loved the interrogation
Yeah.
in there with
Yeah.
him. I mean, how much more classic does it get? Batman shows up behind him like a ninja, braces the door, and halves at the Joker.
Starts lacing into him.
Dude, that's unreal.
Yeah.
And the way they did it is like, you know what? If that was gonna really happen, I'm pretty sure that's how it would look.
And you got a masochist like the Joker. He doesn't care. He's like beating me all day long. I love it.
Dude, and
Yeah.
Batman's unstable himself. He
Yeah.
goes, hey, we're a match made in heaven, man. I
Yeah.
love beating idiots up. This is going to work.
I really love the Joker's "How I Got My Scar" speeches.
Oh yeah.
He told both of them with such conviction and such belief that you
Yeah.
believe both of them. You're like, what's true? How did you get these scars?
Dude, and I thought that was brilliant
Yeah.
too, because he's like, I'm not gonna tell you,
Mm-hmm.
because how I got these? No, it's a tool. It's a tool that I can use to get into your head, and I might come up with a better one I'm gonna use tomorrow.
Yeah.
In the scene where he goes in and gets Michael J. White,
Yes.
and he breaks the cue stick. It's like we're ready for some aggressive growth.
Mm-hmm.
We've only got one spot left.
One
We've only
position.
got one spot open.
We're gonna have tryouts.
And he hands it to him, and he just walks out.
Uh-huh.
They just kind of look at each other.
Uh-huh.
because you
That-
tempt the hungry dog,
that
right? It's like,
was
dude,
awesome.
if it's me or you, it's me, dude.
I really love the mob scene when he first walks in, though. That's
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
because that's really the first time you really get to see the Joker. You get to see him when he's robbing the bank, but only for that like one line before he gets on the bus.
Yeah.
But when he walks in with all the mob bosses, you got the most powerful, scary dudes in the entire city, and he's running the show now. He just walks in and takes over the whole meeting. He's got the grenades.
That was one little those little details.
Yeah.
Oh, that
The
was great.
grenades when he just
Yeah.
opens up and there's the grenades all on one little.
Let's not
piece.
blow this out of proportion.
Well, because I mean, they did a real good job, almost like Batman Begins. This was Joker Begins.
Uh-huh.
It's like, okay, how does somebody like that kind of work his way up?
Yeah.
And you saw, it's like, yeah, some guy named the Joker set this up, man, and he shoots the guys in the bank at the beginning.
Yeah.
Then he goes in and to the mob bosses. That was a fantastic
Yeah.
scene. When he goes, they said, he's crazy. And he looked legitimately pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
like
gonna bring
out
that
of the
up.
top, like
Yeah.
he's looking out of his eyelids and saying,
I'm not crazy.
crazy.
I'm not.
Crazy.
And all of a sudden you're like, oh, dude, that's creepy.
Yeah,
Because when
that
he
was
said that, I was
awesome.
like, there's so many things you can say to him. You do not do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like everyone says that, and that's where I lose it. Because what I was thinking there is like, he might just take and open that coat, and all those pins are pulled right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That was my breaking point. I
Yeah.
thought that was great.
That was great.
Hey, something we haven't even mentioned: Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent or Two-Face.
I think he's a phenomenal actor.
Dude.
And I honestly, I think both parts of that,
Yep.
he was great at.
And I think this was one of the
He's
first.
no Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent, though.
He's no Billy D. Williams. It's because he doesn't drink Colt 45.
Well, that's true.
He's not a malt liquor lover. Try to say that 3 times fast.
I don't think I can.
Hey, now,
Wait.
I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I could have kept it or lost it either way.
See, now, the only,
really? Oh,
there's
because it
only-
was huge for me. I loved it.
There's
Yeah.
only one reason I can see where you're going with this. Well, I mean, you might be going this direction I am, but it added like an additional almost 30 minutes to the movie that I almost questioned did it really need to be there.
I bought that because they were setting up the next movie.
Yeah, see, I thought I could see
Oh,
them
yeah.
setting it
Yeah.
up. As the Joker coming back.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
I got you.
that,
yeah.
that couldn't happen.
Well, the other thing about it was this. So many times we talked about in part 1 where they tried to put too many villains in or too many characters. Just, I mean,
Yeah.
too many guys trying to vie for that one spotlight. You know, in fact, that's what Michael Keaton ended up saying. He didn't want to do a third one. He goes, "There's supposed to be a Batman movie, but it's not. It was
Yeah,
the first one was a
exactly.
Joker movie, and the second one was Catwoman and the Penguin movie, and I'm the co-star." And he goes, "I'm not
Basically.
doing
Yeah, basically.
Now, I've always said this too. With Batman movies, the villain is going to get a big part of this movie.
that. It has to,
I mean, to me, it's not just a Batman movie, even though it is Batman.
Uh-huh.
dude.
If you have a crappy villain, I don't care how good Batman is.
100%. Because
And that's going into part 3.
well,
Well, I'll say Nolan knew he couldn't mess up the Joker, too, because that is the Batman villain.
Yeah.
He had to get it right, and
Yeah.
he did it.
but if you don't have a
fantastic
good
job.
villain, you don't have a good story.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because that's one of the things people always talk about. Superman can be a little bit boring because he's unbeatable.
Yeah.
How do you make that exciting? And, you know, I disagree. I think they do a lot of great things in the books. And, you know, some of these movies are doing really good at. But if you don't have a good villain, you're not going to take and have a good story.
Mm-hmm.
Part 3's villain, a new, you know, take on somebody that was really famous in the comics,
Yep.
Bane.
Bane.
What'd you think?
Peezy, I'll let you take this.
Well, you know, I was really excited. You know, I actually reread Nightfall right before it began because I was just so excited to see Bane break Batman's back and the whole rehabilitation and everything. And I don't know, the very first time you see Bane on screen in the plane and he's got his little speech and he's like, you know, I really dug the voice. Everything he said throughout the entire movie, I was like, it was gold. He had me wrapped around his little finger.
It's funny that he mentions the voice because a lot of people absolutely hated it.
I thought it was
I mean,
phenomenal.
and I've said this before. For the longest time, I thought it was Sean Connery.
Oh, really?
Well, it was studio doctored. He didn't actually sound like that, but I really dug the way they took it.
I didn't have a single problem with it, though.
Yeah, well,
I
his
didn't-
voice, I thought, I mean, eventually he kind of grew on me, but the whole first scene, that whole thing, I absolutely hated it. To me, The Dark Knight, they got off on the right foot. The Dark Knight Rises, I thought they got off on the wrong foot.
I do too. I didn't like the first scene.
I mean, you're looking for somebody. Why don't you just take a wild chance and look under the hoods and see who these people are?
Yeah.
As ridiculous as that may sound.
Yeah. Well, and I thought that his voice was going to sound something like more like Darth Vader.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Instead of this, I don't know, like
Well,
Eastern European.
Noel was trying to explain it in a real world thing, like why would this dude be wearing a mask all the time?
Sure.
They had
Because it's
to,
in the comic book that
yeah.
you're doing this.
I mean, he's not going to
doing
be
this up.
700 pounds, and they had to make
Well,
it semi-real.
And that's why I go back to the first part. Are you going to have a corpse there dangling one plane from another plane and sticking a needle in his arm and taking blood and putting it into this corpse?
If you're Bane, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, the corpse blood doesn't really flow because now it's congealed, but that's neither here nor there. And I've had nurses try to stick me, and I'm not moving, dangling from a plane. I know Bane was a licensed physician. He said sarcastically, but that whole part, I was just like, what are you doing? And like I say, that just got me off on a bad taste right from the beginning.
Now, as a story, or the story as a whole, did you like the basic story or did you not?
No,
I didn't either.
I didn't.
I didn't buy the whole bomb, waiting 6 months, and then Batman comes back just in time. I didn't really buy that either.
Well, one part I actually liked was the stadium exploding.
Oh, that was
But
cool.
yet I still thought it was weird. It's like you're running with a football,
And you can't tell that the world just fell.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's like there's an earthquake below you, and you have no idea. You're just running right to the end zone
Yeah.
like nothing. But even though I still love the effects of that, I thought it was
That
really
was cool.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I know that Batman in part 2 falls and he does get injured. He's hobbling to the bike, you know.
Yeah.
But to make him look like his career was already over, because it's supposed to be a number of years afterwards, like 7-8 years after that
right.
part, where he just disappeared, and didn't come out anymore.
Well, another thing towards the realism, though, how long is a guy's luck going to hold out doing something like that, fighting the... I mean, eventually somebody's going to get lucky and shoot him in the face.
Well, I couldn't agree more with you. But still, with this character being like, all right, we have a lot of different things that we want to tell. And I know that Nolan was like, well, here's my story. It's going to take 3
It's a
movies to
trilogy,
tell my
right,
single
right.
story. But I would have liked to seen, like, I don't know, maybe a montage of, bunch of papers dropping, like, hey, Batman helps again. To make it look like, hey, he's been helping and stuff. And then he went missing. Because it's like, he's had 2 fights.
He was gone longer than he was there.
He fought the Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul, and then in the next movie, the Joker and Two-Face, and okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I didn't like that.
I do like how, though, 8 years later, people still had that fear over their shoulders, like, he might come back tonight. Because when they first see Batman pass the police car, the one police officer's like, you're in for a show tonight, son.
Oh,
I was like,
there you go.
yeah.
That was cool. That's cool. And the whole idea with Catwoman, I thought that she was underused.
Agreed.
Yeah, she
but,
was.
But I loved her. I thought she was a good character.
Oh, dude.
I did too.
She's a good actress, too.
Yeah.
I like Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
She's,
Her whole role was like subtlety, and I liked it. Like they kind of hinted at what her profession was, but they didn't really come out and say it.
yeah.
And
I almost thought, though, that they just didn't give her enough time to shine.
yeah.
They just didn't do enough with her.
Because my biggest problem with her, how they use her, she went from being bad person to good person seemingly
By a conversation.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, it just didn't have that time to really kind of just sit there and let's let her work it.
I didn't get that. Like I never. She never really 100% redeemed herself. I think at the end of the movie, she's still like, I don't know. She could still just run off and do her own thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the other thing was, all right, here comes this time. Batman does have to take and face off with Bane.
Yeah.
And, of course, he does get beat. But, I mean, to be honest, number one, the fight was unimpressive. Like, the actual fight choreography, it looked so real that it lacked any drama. I was like, wow, that looks like two guys that could have just been next door, not the two of the baddest dudes in the world.
Yeah.
Not even two top UFC fighters or something, which should have mimicked two champions anyway. And it just looked like, wow, that's almost depressing.
It's the problem with any superhero movie that the costumes get in the way.
Yeah, I think so. But you know what? I've seen good usage of a director knowing how. Okay, what can we do? Like one thing, if you look at Batman's cape in the first movies with Michael Keaton, it's this heavy leather. He can't do hardly anything.
Yeah.
And in this one, I mean, he's basically got body armor on, and this literally sheer cloth, hanging from. It's like, dude, he can move with that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking
I don't
of the
think
costume,
it was the costume.
One thing I did love is that to me it felt like a kind of a tip of the cap to Batman. Like, can my neck turn?
Oh yeah, I
Can
thought that
I
was
turn
cool.
my head? That little thing, I thought that was awesome.
Michael Keaton always having to turn the shoulder.
Yeah, he had to turn his whole body to turn around. And I thought that little thing was great.
I like how they explained it though. Since Batman was off for 8 years, it's like that's why Bane beat him the first time. Victory has made you weak. Peace has defeated you. So
yeah, and because he's been out of practice.
And then he started training and rebuilding his body, and then he came back and beat Bane.
But they put a knee brace on him, and all of a sudden his knee was healed.
I need that knee brace.
Yeah. No doubt.
Because I was like, well, that was pretty easy.
That was a bat brace, though.
Oh,
bat brace is better than a regular knee brace.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot.
He's got 10,000 of them.
Lucius made that.
A box.
I forgot about that.
But Bane made the movie for me. All plot holes and everything aside, Bane is why I love that movie
about
so
Talia?
much. I couldn't care less for her.
Yeah.
Natalia in the comic books, what a fantastic character. Neil Adams, have you ever seen his art of her? It's one of the most beautiful women drawn in comic books. And, not to be harsh on the actress and stuff, but she just didn't do anything for me either.
Yeah.
I was like, I hate to say it was forgettable.
I mean, to me, I thought it was weird. Like, didn't he already know her as Talia? Or did he just, all of a sudden, he had no idea that she was Talia?
No, I don't think he knew that she was Talia. He knew her, but not as Talia.
Because I thought I remember in the comics that they knew each other from...
they did in the comics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, not in the movie.
From Ra's al's place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
and
fact,
it's just like, wait, you didn't know that this was her. That was one of those little pieces that kind of threw me a little bit.
I have to look at and find out what the name of. There's an oversized comic that they used to do back in the 70s, real big. I mean, almost like a coffee table book size. That they used to have. They had a Superman, a Batman, Shazam, Hulk. All these different ones. Star Wars had a series of it, but they had a Batman one, and it was drawn by Neil Adams, and it was with Roz and Talia in there, and it was Batman with the Lazarus Pit. One of the best stories I've ever written. I was like, dude, that's fantastic. So I was coming in with that kind of hype, when they said that she was going to be in here, and it's just like, dude, forgettable.
Yeah.
And I don't really dig the ending as far as how they explained Bane's connection.
Yeah.
She came across like this guy, a big lug henchman.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. Not so much.
I was not blown away by this movie at all. But.
Well, last thing, the ending. Okay?
Yeah.
Ending, I thought, to me, it was unsatisfying. And I hate dogging out a Batman movie like this after I love the first two. Both of those I give A+.
Yeah.
And this one, man, dude, the ending, he's going to, they're not going to tell you whether he died or not. He's going to take and give away the mansion. This cop who he talked to for 2 seconds is going to now be Robin, and he stumbled across the cave. And a bunch of these little orphans are going to be running around Wayne Manor, and they're going to find the cave. I'm like, what? That's it. Boo.
Now, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Great actor.
See, and
love him as an
one
actor.
thing you mentioned about Robin, I've always heard that he did that as kind of a nod.
Yeah.
And not as, oh yeah, he's going to be Robin.
Well, because he even kept saying, and you can't tell, now, because they're supposed to throw you off. And I don't want to know too much about the movie ahead of time.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't want to take and investigate. I don't want to see too many previews. I don't want to see one preview too many times. I want it to be fresh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And people are always picking and trying to get these hidden things. And so he's like, no, Robin's never going to be in it. And maybe he's just throwing us off the trail.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a last minute, just put it in.
Yeah.
Put it in. He's like, look at my bag right there. Yeah. Robin. Yeah, I did. I thought that was.
And for me, it was like, I thought he did a good job for his character.
Yeah.
And Jim Gordon, that character, Gary Oldman, throughout the whole thing. I thought he did a great job.
He's
love
a
Gary Oldman.
fantastic
Yes, he
Commissioner
is.
Gordon.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal actor. Period.
Yeah.
Not
He is.
only did he look the part, because I mean, that gritty, crime noir, art that they do with Commissioner Gordon, he was there. But boy, he nailed it 100%. I was like, because you could tell in the first couple movies, you could tell, I don't know, this guy's a nut, man. Like, he didn't trust him, but as he went, he goes, no, you need to. This is a good man. So, yeah, him 100%. Grade on the third movie, D. Don't be cruel.
Yeah, I'm not going to drop it down to the Batman and Robin movie.
It's not an F.
No, it's not. I mean, to me, I'm looking at probably about a C+ on it. Yeah, about C+.
If we're splitting hairs, I'm going C-. That's the best I can give it.
Wow. I rank it right there with Batman Begins. I mean, I like the third movie better, but I don't know. I'll give them both a B.
A
just
B?
because, yeah, I mean, just all the plot holes
That's
and
actually
everything.
surprising me.
Just all
I
the-
know how much you love Bane in that movie.
I love Bane, but all the plot holes in the movie do just kind of kill it a little bit.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, it's kind of neat because I haven't talked to very many people who did like it, so it's kind of neat to hear your takes on it.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of
I
interesting.
thought they did an awesome job with Bane's character. I mean, he was just physical intimidation personified. He was just
Tom Hardy's
looming,
great at that.
Yeah, he's just looming over top of you. He's like, go search him, and then I'll kill you.
And then, even though he's
Yeah.
5'8".
He just does it anyway. Yeah.
Him and Michael Chiklis' thing.
Right,
Too undersized. Yeah. It's like,
Little
if you guys
man
read
complex.
the books.
Exactly.
But I mean, they did what they could. So.
But Tom Hardy, nothing against him. That's a diesel dude, man.
Yeah.
And a great force of an actor.
Yeah. And I thought they wrapped it up all right.
I don't like him.
You don't like Tom Hardy?
I don't like Tom Hardy.
Did you like him in Warrior?
No, I did not.
You did not love him
I
in
did
that.
not.
He
Well,
was
that whole movie I
cool.
didn't like.
You didn't like Warrior? the
No,
whole
I did.
movie?
I mean, when Kurt Angle threw in a power bomb, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
with
the
this
whole
movie.
premise of that movie was a little much.
I mean, that was it right there. I mean, Kurt Angle literally throwing a power bomb in the movie.
That could happen, dude.
Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Well, granted, Quentin Jackson did do that in one movie. I mean, one movie in one fight.
Ricardo Arona and Pride in Japan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
And
actually
he busted
thought,
his own face doing it.
I thought when he slammed that guy, though, I said, I think he might have killed that dude.
He may have actually broken his back. He broke the bat.
Dude, that's a hard hit, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely all of these three movies, heads and shoulders above everything except, the original Keaton with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. Well, granted, I still put the 66 above the Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, wow. I can't argue with you. I didn't know which way I was going.
I don't know.
Even though there was a massive amount of cheese in that, but still.
Well, I'm telling you, I think it wins just because it had shark repellent and,
Yeah. Well,
and a
yeah.
bomb from
Yeah.
the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, running around for 30 minutes with a bomb.
A black bowling ball with a never blow out candle as a fuse.
That was so funny.
I don't know.
Now-
The Nolan movies, they kind of just stand on their own category. They're the dark, gritty movies. All the other ones are campy, fun, filled with jokes. The Marvel movies are getting kind of overboard with the jokes, actually. But it's like,
Yeah,
I don't know, the
I almost feel
Nolans-
that way. They're almost going too much because I
Yeah.
like a little bit, but I don't want it to be a comedy.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, like I think some of them can be. Like
Uh-huh.
Ant-Man, I thought should.
Right, right, yeah.
Avengers, Age of Ultron doesn't need to be a comedy.
Well, let me
Yeah.
ask you this about the Batman. If Heath Ledger had not passed away, do you think that last movie would have been totally different?
It would have been totally different.
That's what I think.
I think that's almost why the third one was as bad, because it was a rewrite from what he actually wanted to do.
Totally could have been.
Because that's one of those things I've always thought about. It's like, if Ledger had been alive,
Yeah.
how would that have been different?
Let me tell you something. That probably, God rest his soul, is the saving grace of what the third movie could have been. Because they might have had to just scramble and, do what they could.
Yeah.
It's like, Def Leppard when their drummer lost their arms, they're rolling the dice that this thing's going to work, and it turned out to be gold.
Yeah.
Well, and this time they rolled the dice, and it was snake eyes. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. That's just one of those things I always thought about. I was like, I wonder if anybody else thinks that way like I thought about it.
But I'll tell you one thing that I'm excited about is how those movies affected the entire genre.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we're not done with Batman.
Yeah.
Maybe next week we can come back in and we start talking about the next step, what they're going to be doing with Dawn of Justice.
Dawn of Justice.
Dude,
Didn't they just announce 3 movies?
I didn't hear that. Was
I
that today?
think I heard Affleck's going to be directing.
Yeah, Affleck's got an
I
extended
did
contract.
hear that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. In fact, I think he had other things on his plate that he had to take and toss. He says, "No, I got to do this."
Yeah.
And Batman's in Suicide Squad. I assume that's going to be Affleck as well.
I'll tell you the thing that I really like. Number one, I'm a huge fan of Zack Snyder. You know, his vision for what he's going to be doing with this thing with Affleck, you know.
Wait, we're talking Batman, Superman?
Yeah, Batman, Superman. I love his movie. I love Sucker Punch and 300.
See, I love Sucker Punch. I know so many people that did not like that
I
movie.
love that. I thought that was fantastic.
There's only one thing I didn't like about that, is
What?
we never saw her actually dance.
Dude, which was honestly, that was kind of cool, but yeah.
Me and one of my friends was talking, I was like, you know what, they didn't do that part. She probably can't dance at all.
That needs to be on the 25th anniversary.
Exactly.
You know? Behind the scenes, Blu-ray. It's an Easter egg. You've got to put in a code to get it. But, yeah, so I'm super excited about that. That whole world. What did you think about the preview?
The last one?
Yeah, well,
yeah, I loved it.
oh, dude, I was like so
because
excited.
I was going, I'm gonna hate this movie. When I saw that, I was like, okay, you're catching me, you're getting me now, and I'm liking it.
You know what? Let's do this. Let's save this for the next one. That's
Sure.
too much good stuff right
Exactly.
Yeah.
here. All right. Hey, first three movies are the three Nolan movies. Man, A, C minus. What about you?
What did I say? C plus on the first one.
Yep.
A plus and multiple pluses.
Yeah.
And I think I might have said C plus on the last one. That's not true.
Should not be true.
Maybe I said B plus on the first one.
I think you did say
I'd
B
say
on
B
the
plus
first.
on the first
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
So
What about you?
I'll go BAB.
All right. BAB.
Bab.
touche.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Good stuff.
that's gonna be the end of podcast number 2, the end of the Batman movies. But we will have more to look forward to on those. Anything else, guys?
Next week, we'll also talk about your juice diet.
Yes, my juice diet. I have lost 4 pounds in 2 days.
Woohoo!
Exactly.
Awesome.
I don't really need to lose that much weight, but it makes me look good.
Lose some for me.
You look incredible.
Yeah, lies.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
And Troy Champney,
Thank you.
Josh Presnell,
Always a pleasure.
and we are out.
Peace.
See ya.
See ya.